everyone. Welcome to Fast Forward Podcast. I'm Joanna Jordi. Today we're presenting the special Flash Forward edition of our Fast Forward podcast. One of our Flash Forward competition winning organizations will be moving on to implementing their project. Dooda Vermiculture, a new organization that is building from the bottom up by healing what is essential to maintaining food security, as per Sustainable Development Goal 2, no hunger, soil health. So Dooda works on cultivating worms to create the best soil quality possible out of compost to best serve the flourishing of organic agriculture. So maintaining soil health on a modular level contributes to nurturing the widespread of soil benefit on an ecosystems level, which benefits Sustainable Development Goal 15, life on land. So with us is Nada Ghanem. Welcome to Fast Forward Podcast, Nada.
Thank you, Joanna. Thank you for having us, and thank you for all the effort you put during the competition period. We learned a lot, and it was really a pleasure to be with you.
Great. So what are the biggest challenges that agriculture is facing in Lebanon today?
So if we want to zoom out and see in general what are the main struggles we are facing in the agricultural sector, so we have challenges that have been accumulated over the years, and we have newly occurrent challenges. So if we want to speak about the newly occurrent challenges, because all the farmers currently connect more with those challenges, are mainly the high cost of fertilizers, mainly the chemical fertilizers, and most of our agricultural practices in Lebanon rely a lot on chemical fertilizers. Now from here we go to the main challenge in the industry in general, which is the excessive use of chemical fertilizers. So chemical fertilizers on their own are not bad. So actually they have nitrogen, potassium, and phosphorus. These are really important for the soil. However, when farmers excessively use them, they damage the soil, they damage the water bodies, and also they damage our health. So we all hear about nitrogen pollution and eutrophication. So whenever we excessively apply chemical fertilizers on soil, the plants can't take them all. So most of them are insoluble, and whenever there's precipitation, they leach out into the water bodies. So eventually we end up drinking the water or irrigating our lands with the polluted water, and it's a cycle. So they bioaccumulate in our health, in our bodies, you know. And in general, you can see that in Lebanon we have high numbers of cancer cases, high prevalences of many other diseases. So this can't be separated from the quality of the food we eat. So it's directly related. And pesticide application is also, if we want to say, has a similar impact on our health. So also farmers, they apply pesticides. Whenever they see a fly, they apply pesticides. Sometimes they excessively also apply pesticides. So we can't blame them, because at the end of the day, they want to produce healthy crops. They want to reach the export standards and so on. However, we have to dig deeper into the root cause of the problem, which is the low immunity of plants and the climate change. So there are many changing factors around us. We can't isolate the plants. So they live in an environment, soil is part of it, the air around us, and also all the other biodiversity elements, whether it's birds, insects, whether it's microbes inside the soil. So it's all related. So it's our life, you know. Whether it's under the soil, above the soil, in the plant. So they all contribute to give us healthy crops. So if we want to help farmers reduce the amount of pesticides, we should be realistic. At the end of the day, we can't tell them just don't apply it, go for the traditional, the spices with the olive oil and stuff like that, because at the end of the day, farmers want to benefit from the financial part of why they are growing in the first place. You know, not all farmers are small farmers, not all farmers have a garden for household consumption. No, we have to look at the bigger scope. So if we want to help those farmers, we have to help them help the plant. So these are all like, I listed only two problems, two main problems, which is the excessive chemical fertilizers application and the excessive pesticide application. So let's zoom in into what we at Dooda do and how we can contribute to all this problem, if we want to say. So at Dooda, as you mentioned, Joanna, we raise earthworms. So we raise earthworms, we produce vermicompost. So many people don't realize the importance of earthworms in the soil. So we used to see them like 20 years ago. Whenever we dig a bit in the soil, we see earthworms. But now if you go outside to your garden and you dig the soil, you rarely find earthworms. That's basically because of the application of chemical fertilizers, human activities. So the environment actually cannot support their life anymore. No. So their numbers are decreasing globally. So when we at Dooda realized the importance of earthworms, actually I did my master on vermicomposting and earthworms, and I was the first to introduce the concept and the practice in Lebanon, and I'm very proud of that. I'm proud of the evolution and the progress that we achieved over the years, where people now, wherever you go, people request earthworms, they call earthworms if they don't want to buy the earthworms. Unfortunately, we stopped selling earthworms at this point because we are mainly raising them to produce more vermicompost. Maybe at a later stage we will be able to supply farmers with the earthworms, but at this stage we produce the fertilizer because we realized that that's the best way at this stage that we can contribute really to the farming industry in general, because the farmer don't have time to raise the worms and take care of them, because it's not easy to raise the worms. They need certain temperatures, certain conditions to be maintained to be able to thrive and recycle the waste and so on. So we're doing that instead, and we provide them with the end result, so the product, the vermicompost. So why vermicompost is important? There's something very unique about the earthworms, that whatever they eat is gets transformed. So scientists still did not discover what's that thing inside the worm gut that transforms the food they eat. So whether it's organic waste, whether it's animal manure, whenever the worms eat them, they end up with high quality soil amendment that has soluble nutrients. So this is very important because most of the manure we find, they have nutrients, nitrogen, potassium, phosphorus, and so on, but they are in an insoluble form. So even if you see the lab analysis that says they have this X percentage of nitrogen, even if you apply it on the plant is not going to take the entire percentage because most of it is insoluble. So it's in a form that the plant cannot take it. In vermicompost, all the nutrients are in the soluble form, which is amazing, you know. It's made by nature, you know, from nature to nature. So yeah, very simple. So this is in terms of nutrients alone, but also the product is high in microbes and microorganisms. It has like minimum 5 times more microorganisms than in the regular compost. So in vermicompost, you have minimum 5 times more microorganisms. It has fulvic acid and humic acid, which are really important to help bind nitrogen in the soil. So if we want to dig deeper in science, we can talk a lot, hours, but even when you apply chemical fertilizers, there is a reason why the nitrogen doesn't get absorbed by the plant, mainly because the nitrogen doesn't affix to the roots. When you have a humic acid and fulvic acid, this helps the nitrogen bind to the roots and will help capture the nitrogen. So whenever it rains, you have less nitrogen lost in the soil, you know. So vermicompost also has that, and it also so these are mainly the technical things. So when you apply vermicompost, you will have amazing results. So vermicompost is applied for soil restoration. It regulates the pH. It reduces the irrigation requirements by 30% because it acts like a sponge in the ground. So we apply it not on the surface, For example, if we have a tree, here's the trunk. We draw a circle under the shade circumference of the tree, and we dig like 15 centimeters to 30 centimeters maximum, and we apply the vermicompost at the level of the roots. So whenever it rains, the roots directly absorb the product we have. So, yeah. Yeah, and it acts like a sponge, so it holds the water. So you need less irrigation, which also means less cost for the farmer, because now when we talk about big, large-scale farmers, they have irrigation on.
The cost of irrigation.
Yeah, exactly.
Efficiency.
You have a system. Yeah, exactly. So this is one part of it. Another thing that's very, very interesting is that vermicompost, when applied, it increases the plant immunity to pests. So this directly affects how much pesticides the farmer is going to apply. So,
wow, it's finding solutions just by understanding how nature works and intervening in a way that is conformed to how nature works.
Yeah, exactly. So at some point you realize that even we have a lot of scientific development, but we really need to always consider what is the optimal use of any scientific solution we have. We should always think of our profits, of course, but at a certain point, actually farmers now are forced to look into the healthy alternatives, because they're stuck in a loop. So even they have a certain amount of chemical fertilizers they apply, now they're not getting the same yields as previous years, you know?
Definitely, it's about sustainability. It's about maintaining their agricultural fertility and soil health in order to provide crops each year and maintain their plants and their crops. So it's about a long-term plan, having a long-term plan to maintain soil health and plant health and agriculture and food security. And
exactly.
also, yes, and we talked about the fungal network, which is super interesting. I mean, how vermiculture it contributes to maintaining the health of the mycelial network of the soil, and how that spreads and it preserves biodiversity, and biodiversity in turn it serves the well-being of plants, the well-being of agriculture, therefore, and we have a long-term solution for sustaining agriculture, which is great. It's a big leverage point. So thank you so much for sharing that with us. That's wonderful. So I want you to tell us more about your project.
Okay, so the project we applied for with Flash Forward was mainly to raise awareness among farmers' communities, because we realized that vermicompost is very important, has lots of unique characteristics that we really want farmers to apply and benefit from them. However, we know that most farmers are not aware yet of these benefits. So from there, we thought that it's really important to have these awareness sessions across Lebanon and all areas in Lebanon. So we plan to conduct more than 12 workshops across Lebanon for large-scale farmers, medium-scale farmers, and of course, small-scale farmers are always welcome to attend. However, we thought that it's really important to address the farmers who really cultivate the highest percentage of the Lebanese crops, you know. So maybe that way we have a bigger impact on what we the general public consume in Lebanon. So yeah, this is mainly the main idea. However, we also know that it's not only about spreading awareness and sharing knowledge. We can talk till tomorrow, but at the end of the day, it's important to apply and to practice. And also we know the current economical situation that the farmers are going through, so that we do not expect them to really take money and buy a product that they haven't tested before to know whether it's good or not. So from there, we're going to utilize the fund from Flash Forward to give farmers vermicompost and enough quantities for each farmer, for a quantity that's enough for 1,000 meters square land. That way, all the farmers who attend and are interested, they can test it and see the results for themselves.
What motivated you to participate in the Flash Forward program?
So the challenge that was presented by the Flash Forward program was very interesting because it talks about sustainable development goals, and at Dooda, that's our core. You know, so whether the regular processes that we have at Dooda and the all the results that we expect from promoting the use of vermicompost, these are all very related to sustainable development goals, and also the process itself is sustainable. So whenever you apply the product on the land, the result is going to be sustainable because you're going to be restoring the ecosystem, the soil ecosystem, and it's going to last for many years. And the more you apply, the better the soil you have will be. So with Flash Forward, we also introduced our new project, which is the awareness session and donating to farmers, which really increases our participation to these sustainable development goals, to list the goals that we contribute to, which are mainly the zero hunger, where we achieve food security. As we said, and we discussed the cycle, the more you have healthy crops, healthy soil, healthy environment, the better you have food security and so on. Also, we contribute to good health and well-being for humans, and gender equality, where the project with Flash Forward is going to be led by women. Also, we contribute to decent work and economic growth, which is SDG 8, because as you know, with the increasing bans on the Lebanese products, when we talk about agricultural products like crops, there are increasing bans from the neighboring countries because they are testing the product and they are high in chemicals and pesticides, and they are above the standards. So they are losing jobs, reducing income, and so on. So by contributing to improving the quality of the crops and increasing their quality, we directly contribute to increasing the farmers' income and also creating more jobs in their sector. So instead of losing jobs, now you have more opportunity to have engineers contributing to farmers and so on. So from whether a worker or an agricultural engineer, all these opportunities will be more available. Also, we contribute to SDG 11, Sustainable Cities and Communities, and this is mainly because within our project, we're going to address communities at refugee camps, because we believe that it's really important to give them knowledge about the product. And there's one of the refugee camps that has a green roof where they plant leafy vegetables and others for local consumption. So we thought also it's really important to contribute to the farm that they have, and also raise more awareness within children and women as well. Also, we contribute to climate action, SDG 13, because with vermicomposting, you contribute to less global warming because you have less emissions. Within the process, we recycle a huge amount of organic waste. So instead of these organic waste being sent to landfills, emitting methane gas and so on, we are recycling them and creating a really high-end product with many benefits. Also, we contribute to SDG 15, which is life on land. We restore and sustain forests, combat desertification, and reverse land degradation, which is something we do at the core, because vermicompost restores soil, reduces soil erosion, and so on. Also, so these are in brief what we do in terms of sustainable development goals. And that's mainly what drove us to apply and participate in this challenge. We thought it fits us properly, you know.
Definitely does. Yes, it's many ranges of sustainable development goals. It's pretty holistic in terms of global goals. So
yeah.
So it's a great choice. So I'm so glad that you participated in this program. What are your next steps and objectives that you aim to reach?
Well, actually, we aim to expand our production because we realize that there is a growing demand in the Lebanese market, knowing that the economic situation, unfortunately, and the increase in cost and price of chemical fertilizers. So now Dooda can present an alternative to chemical fertilizers, an alternative to farmers who do not want to lose their profits, but at the same time, they can buy a product that's more affordable, you know. And also we will be contributing also to increasing the agricultural farming practices. So this is also at our core. So more agricultural farms are emerging, and many farmers are switching from chemical practices to more organic farming. So this also pours in the same idea. So as I told you, our main goal now is to increase our production, also reach international markets through exporting our product to neighboring countries, hopefully, and also reaching the highest number of farmers in Lebanon. So this is something we really want to achieve.
So biggest takeaways that you got from this program in terms of benefiting your project and developing your long-term vision for your organization?
So in that aspect, we the exposure we had in Flash Forward with the other participants helped us realize what other opportunities we have in the community around us. So there are many ways to collaborate with other startups, other NGOs that will all really impact the communities in Lebanon. And this is something we're definitely be working on, and we want to maximize the impact. So we know that Flash Forward is supporting us, but we promise you that we will be supporting many other communities as well.
Definitely. That's why we need to call it a co-opetition rather than a competition. It's a place for organizations to meet and to find ways to collaborate, cooperate, and to benefit from the educational program, and at the same time develop their project and evolve in order to really have the sustainable development goals as a focus.
Yeah.
And I want to know more about what kind of support and collaborative relationships would be best of service to do the vermiculture.
Collaboration in terms of what exactly? Collaboration Lebanon, you mean?
For example, partnerships or any types of support that would help do the vermiculture.
Yeah, of course, we welcome any support or collaboration with non-governmental organizations working in the agricultural sector, because we believe that they are in the field working directly with farmers closely. They know their pain, they know their challenges, and there's a lot of funding going there. So I think that's a way we can collaborate with these NGOs, maybe doing workshops, also replicating what we are doing with Flash Forward with other NGOs. This is really a good idea as well. And we can work also with the private companies. I mean, where every company has like a budget dedicated for communities, community service, and so on. So maybe vermicompost can be one of those choices for companies that are willing to contribute to improving the agricultural sector.
Great. So we small farmers and amateurs of permaculture, what is your advice to us?
Well, my advice, it's not like an advice, because everything's available online when it comes to the technicalities, but I think that we should believe that whenever we want to take a step in the right direction towards organic farming or towards our duty to ourselves, and our health, please do it. And don't hear to the voices around you, because now in Lebanon, we have like a raising awareness and consciousness on the importance of consuming healthy foods, on the importance of protecting the environment, protecting biodiversity, animals, and so on. And this is so beautiful. And we really need to believe that this is the way forward. So please don't listen to anyone around you who says the old dialogues that we used to hear. And whenever, if you want to make a change, I mean, there are people that you can collaborate with. Just ask and do your research, and whatever you need is always available. Okay, so nothing can stop you from practicing the thing that you want to do, whether permaculture. There are also different types of permaculture. So let's support each other. Let this community and network grow. Okay, so even if we are many in this doing the same thing, there's nothing wrong with that. So yeah.
That's so great. Thank you so much for sharing. And great advice, definitely. We need a lot more cooperating and building community. So this is a wonderful direction to head in towards.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for sharing your experience with us. So you can tune into our website, fastforward2030.com/Lebanon, to learn more details about our Flash Forward competition and our other activities to support sustainable development goals. From Fast Forward 2030 Lebanon, let us honor our human and natural heritage to create the best life conditions possible for our future generations. Thank you so much.
Joanna. Thank you. Thank you.